Hello, students! Today we're going to keep exploring the character of Scrooge from A Christmas Carol. Next, we will be exploring Scrooge's next key characteristic as a cold-hearted man. At the beginning of the novella, Scrooge is portrayed as deeply unfeeling, with little empathy or compassion for those around him, particularly the poor and downtrodden. His harsh treatment of his underpaid clerk, Bob Cratchit, epitomizes this trait. We will explore how this cold-heartedness contributes to Scrooge's profound isolation and loneliness, as he rejects friends and family in favor of solitude and detachment. Finally, we will examine Scrooge's transformation throughout the story as he confronts the impact of his actions and learns from the past with the help of the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and yet to come, ultimately leading to a profound change in his character. Let's begin. At the beginning of the novella, Scrooge is depicted as deeply cold-hearted. He shows no empathy or compassion toward others, particularly the poor and downtrodden. His treatment of Bob Cratchit, his underpaid and overworked clerk, is indicative of this trait, as Scrooge sees no issue with subjecting him to harsh working conditions, even on Christmas Eve. In the quote,
"You'll want all day tomorrow, I suppose."
he addresses his clerk in a tone filled with annoyance and reluctant acceptance. This shows his complete lack of empathy towards Bob Cratchit's desire to spend Christmas Day with his family. Instead of understanding or caring about Cratchit's need to celebrate the holiday, Scrooge views it as an inconvenience. This quote also reflects Scrooge's indifference to the personal lives and well-being of his employees. Despite knowing that Christmas is a significant and cherished holiday for many, including Cratchit, Scrooge sees no value in granting him the day off to celebrate with his family. His sole focus is on maintaining productivity, regardless of the impact on Cratchit's happiness. Furthermore, Scrooge's statement carries an authoritarian and unsympathetic attitude, emphasizing his cold-hearted nature. He doesn't ask Cratchit about his plans or express any genuine interest in his well-being. Instead, he assumes Cratchit will want the day off, without considering the reasons behind it or showing any willingness to accommodate his employees' needs. This demonstrates Scrooge's disregard for the feelings and circumstances of others, portraying him as callous and uncaring. Secondly, Scrooge's cold-hearted nature contributes to his isolation and loneliness. He pushes away friends and family, preferring solitude and detachment from others. This is evident when Scrooge's nephew, Fred, invites him to Christmas dinner, and Scrooge responds,
"Nephew, keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine."
This quote occurs early in the novel and highlights Scrooge's gruffness and disdain for Christmas. By rejecting his nephew's invitation, Scrooge rejects familial warmth and tradition, choosing instead to stay isolated. The repetition of "keep Christmas" emphasizes his refusal to engage with the holiday spirit, and his stern tone underlines his unyielding cold-heartedness. Scrooge's insistence on keeping Christmas in his own way shows how he prioritizes his self-interest over family bonds, revealing his lack of empathy and connection. This self-centered approach further isolates him, solidifying his reputation as a miserly and cold-hearted individual. However, as the novella progresses, Scrooge undergoes a profound transformation, challenging his cold-hearted nature. Through encounters with the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and yet to come, Scrooge confronts the consequences of his actions and the impact of his cold-heartedness on himself and others. These experiences lead him to recognize the importance of love, compassion, and generosity. This is clearly shown when Scrooge says,
"I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me."
Scrooge promises to honor Christmas in his heart and embraces the lessons he has learned from the spirits. His use of the word will shows his strong resolve and commitment to change, demonstrating his genuine desire to cultivate love, compassion, and generosity within himself. By deciding to live in the past, the present, and the future, Scrooge shows he understands the importance of learning from past experiences, appreciating the present, and thinking about the future. Finally, by saying, "The spirits of all three shall strive within me," he acknowledges the profound impact of his encounters with the ghosts and expresses his openness to growth and transformation. This declaration marks the culmination of Scrooge's transformation and signifies his commitment to being a better person. And that brings us to the end of today's lesson. Scrooge's lack of empathy towards Bob Cratchit is symbolic of his treatment of the poor. Secondly, we saw how his cold-heartedness contributed to his loneliness and detachment from family as he rejects familial warmth. Finally, how he transformed into a kind-hearted, empathetic person by learning from the past from the help of the ghosts. Remember to keep revising this lesson and see you next time.